foundations are very essential in unlocking funding, opportunities and facilitating research and development and bringing global best practices, to this country and to SMEs. And if you are a member or you are very active, you get to leverage on all of these opportunities that are often, roll out for the members. What am I saying? I'm saying that we need to do business in Ghana. We need to grow the SME sector. We need to scale the SME sector up. Ghana is said to have a large informal sector, most of which is SME. More than 70% of our economy is driven by the informal sector, which is the SME sector. And so if we want to pay attention to the SME sector, then we are paying attention to the foundation of our economy. If we want to have improved conditions of life, better standards of living, if we want to be able to do God's work better, with better resources, then we need to take business seriously. And this have biblical, basis. When God finished creating the world, he charged man to take dominion over the world. Taking dominion over the world and ruling over the sea and the things therein, the air and the things therein, and the land and all the things on it, it's entrepreneurship. It's business. It means we should understand nature, understand how we take the things of nature to serve God and to serve other creations of God. And that is the reason why here at Heritage we want to promote entrepreneurship. We want to promote small-scale businesses. And so we constantly encourage all students, all faculty, all administrators to be creative and to look out for challenges in our various communities and to find solutions to those challenges. That's what we call entrepreneurship. We heard the story of CCT, and a very exciting journey. It didn't just start with, fishing gears. It started with various other industries which proved challenging but settled on what let us take that call seriously. Let us organize ourselves and respond to that call. And let us associate and affiliate with people who are like-minded. And one of that is the Ghana Chamber of Commerce. Beyond the Ghana Chamber of Commerce, the Ghana Association of Ghana Employers and many other, informal small size business based on the industry setup, Poultry Farmers Association. So depend upon your area of industry, get closer. When you are part of the theme, you get to hear what is going on. Your voice also is heard. You get to take advantage of all the opportunities that are there, and then we grow together. We grow together and we are empowered economically, and we are in a better position to serve our communities, to serve God using our businesses. I want to thank you all for listening. And if there are more issues, they will be clarified at the CEO roundtable discussion when we have three distinguished chief executives of different industries, very diverse industries. They would open our eyes to all the issues that will make businesses more sustainable, businesses to be more innovative, and to use the businesses that we do in service to humanity and in service to God. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. God bless you too. We can do it better for him. Thank you so much, Professor, for stepping in so timely and delivering so well. And thank you so much for highlighting on the importance and the role of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce. And for me, the highlight is the importance of we affiliating or aligning with like-minded groups. And that is where I want to say a very big thank you to everyone here. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. It is because we are like-minded, that is why we are all in this room this very day and this afternoon and participating in the Boateng Business Conference. Thank you so much for being part of the maiden edition and making history with us. We look forward to having you in the subsequent days and also for the future ones that are yet to come. We form that partnership with you. And on partnership, I'd like to highlight there again that this was made possible by the partnership or the sponsor. The main sponsor is CCT, the Fisherman's Friend. And also we have other sponsors that we have acknowledged and partners as well. I am told we are streaming live on Truth TV Online. So in case somebody miss out and you want them to be part of this conversation to get some nuggets, it's not too late. Kindly just go online and search for Truth TV and you'll be able to share the link with them so they can be part of us, share their comments and questions which you will be asking during the round table discussion. The conversation and the presentation so far to me has been very, very insightful. However, we came prepared. We came to have more. And more means more knowledge, more ideas, and more partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gradually coming to the round table discussion. But before then, there is something we need to do. There is another presentation. And it's so mysterious because this presentation is going to come from the book. I don't know which book that is. Maybe it's the Holy Book, it's the Judgment Day book, the Business Focus book, but you will get to know of it. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to present is a man whose credentials I'm about to share with you. He is an economist and a financial investment analyst and a banker. He is currently a full-time lecturer at Heritage Christian University, as well as an adjunct at the Graduate School of Pentecost University, both in Accra, Ghana. He was a part-time course instructor on capital markets operations at the Bank of Ghana Training Center between the years of 2009 and 2017. He served as the deputy head of Treasury at First Atlantic Bank Limited between 2009 and 2013, where he supervised dealings as well as dealt on the interbank foreign exchange and money markets, monitored correspondent bank accounts to ensure adequate funding and development, and prepared assets and liabilities committees, reports for strategic decision making. He has also obtained tremendous corporate finance research and investment management experience after working at the NTHC Limited and First Atlantic Brokers Limited between 2003 and 2009 on a variety of projects in the areas of initial public offerings, private placement of shares, financial valuations, visibility studies, business plans, corporate strategic plans, investment research, among others. Lastly, he holds a PhD in economics from the University of South Africa, an MPhil and a BA in economics from the University of Ghana. He is a certified risk analyst by the International Academy of Business Financial Management, USA, and a certified microfinance practitioner by the Bank of Ghana. He also holds Ghana Securities Industry certifications from the Ghana Stock Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, help me welcome to the podium Dr. John Mark. Please let's show him some love as he walks gallantly here. A man of many, many lessons. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please allow me to stand on the existing protocols already acknowledged. My task is very simple. The book, which is still in the process, is on, or is titled Ghana Investment Guide. The Ghana SME Investment Guide. We'll be taking excess or extract from this book, and I will be presenting some extract from the part 1, the first part of the book. Others who are contributors to this book will also take or will also present on some aspect in the coming days. My presentation is titled Overview of the Ghanaian Economy, Opportunities, Challenges for Entrepreneurs. So this will be the outline of the presentation. We'll first of all look at the macroeconomic development, especially over the past 10 years. We'll also look at fiscal and monetary developments, then opportunities for entrepreneurs, and the challenges and coping mechanisms for entrepreneurs. Since I'm going to basically present data, you'll be confronted with tables and graphs. And I'm not going to take so much time on this. The presentation is available. After this, you can have access to it. But I'll just briefly go through the key highlights of the data. The first table presents data on key macroeconomic variables. And when we talk of macroeconomic variables, we're referring to GDP, that's gross domestic product, inflation, exchange rates, interest rates, among others. So, how, over the past 10 years especially, the Ghanaian economy can be described as still structurally the same. the performance in terms of GDP growth has experienced mixed trends. So, for example, the GDP growth rate increased from 2.1% in 2015 to 6.5% by 2019. But in 2020, as we are all aware what happened all over the world, the COVID-19 struck the world, and many economies went into even depression. Luckily, we also experienced it, but we didn't experience a negative growth. But the economy grew by only 0.5%. Subsequently, we recovered and ended 2024 with a growth rate of 5.7%. So on average, over the 10-year period, the economy grew by 4.5%. In terms of consumer price inflation, the inflation rate improved from 17.7% in 2015 to a low of 5.8% in 2018, but began to rise again, hitting 54.1% in 2022, which was a 20-year high. In fact, any inflation above 50% is normally described as hyperinflation. And so we recorded a hyperinflation, especially in November and December of 2022. Other indices also follow in similar trends, with the cedi exchange rate with the dollar increasing from about 3.7 or 3.8 cedis per dollar to about 14.7 per dollar by the end of 2024, sorry. Several factors has been attributed to this mixed performance. Among these are external shocks. As I mentioned earlier, the COVID-19 was a key factor, and this became a song for politicians in this country over the past, especially over the past 5 years. And then later in 2022, the Russia-Ukraine war also started. And so it became one of the key attributes to the macroeconomic instability and sluggish growth. But there are also internal factors. What we call fiscal slippages. That is fiscal deficits. Large fiscal deficits have also been attributed to the economic instability. The accumulation of deficits leads to the accumulation of the public debt. And so by 2022, Ghana's public debt as a percentage of GDP have become unsustainable, to the extent that we could not pay loans, both internal and external loans. And we are all aware of the infamous haircut or the domestic debt exchange program government bonds. Government could not pay back government bonds that were due and has to be rescheduled for many years, apart from the fact that the interest rates were also sliced. In fact, the haircut was related to the interest rates. And then external debt too has to be restructured, and we have not even fully recovered from that yet. Nevertheless, comparing Ghana to the Sub-Saharan African average, we have done relatively better. Data from the IMF comparing Ghana with Sub-Saharan Africa, emerging markets economies, and then the developed world show that over the past 5 years, the economy of Ghana grew by about 3.6%, compared with 2.7% for the Sub-Saharan African region. In terms of projections, the IMF projected that the economy of Ghana will grow by about 4.7% average over the next 5 years. The good news is that the second half data from the Statistical Service shows that we have already surpassed even this average. I think data released just last week indicate that the economy grew by 6.3%. Sorry, our remote is not working, so I'm relying on the IT team to move the slides. Now let's look at the composition of GDP by sectors, by the various sectors of the economy. The composition of GDP by the three sectors, the three main sectors of the economy, that is the agriculture sector, the industrial sector, and the services sector, have changed over the past 10 years. In fact, about 20 years ago, the agriculture sector used to contribute over 50% of GDP. But as you can see from the graph, as at 2024, the agriculture sector only contributes about 22% of GDP. The services sector is now the largest contributor to GDP. It is projected that the agriculture sector will continue to contribute about 22% of GDP by 2029, and the services sector will continue to contribute about 44% of GDP, while the industrial sector is projected to contribute about 34% of GDP. In terms of growth of the various sectors, the agricultural sector grew by 7.3% in 2020, while the industrial sector recorded a negative growth of 2.5%. By 2024, the agriculture sector only grew by 2.8%, sorry, while the industrial sector grew by 7.1%. And the services sector by 5.9%. And this was what led to some bit of controversy in Parliament, where the Minister of Finance said the largest contributor to GDP growth was the industrial sector, and then the Statistical Service claimed that it was the services sector. Anyway, the outlook looked very promising, as I stated already, overall GDP grew by 6.3%. Out of it, the services sector grew by 9.9%. And out of the services sector, the subsector, information and communication, grew by a whopping 21%. And so you can see clearly where the economy is moving towards. It's moving more towards the services sector. And ICT is a key subsector of the services sector. Now, let's look at fiscal and monetary development. Fiscal policy, we are referring to government revenues and government expenditure. Whilst monetary policy has to do with the money supply, interest rates, exchange rates. Fiscal policy is normally under the purview of the Ministry of Finance, whilst monetary policy is handled by the Bank of Ghana. As you can see from the graph, the line graph shows public debt over the past 10 years, whilst the bar graph shows overall budget deficit as a percentage of GDP. One striking thing about this graph is that the deficit tends to increase in election years. For instance, 2016, the deficit increased from 4.9 in 2015 to 6.5 in 2016. In 2020, apart from the fact that 2020 was an election year, it was also the year of COVID. So a combination of COVID expenditure and the historical election year spending resulted in a huge budget deficit of 14.7%. Then it started declining from 2021 through 2023. And then in 2024, another election year, the deficit increased to 5.2. Budget deficits by themselves are not bad. It's argued that it is the source of the deficit and how the deficit is financed that can be bad for the economy. For example, when the deficit is occasioned by the need to spend on the or in the productive sectors of the economy, especially when the economy is going through a recession, it is good because in the long run it can lead to economic growth. However, if the spending is on consumption, that is current consumption, then we may have a problem. Or the spending for other reasons like the election year spending, then we can have a problem. Also, the sources of financing a deficit is also important, or the way a deficit is financed. When government run deficit, it simply means that government is spending more than its revenue. And if you are spending more than your revenue, the only way you can cover that hole is to get the money from somebody else. And so government will tend to borrow from other internal sources or external sources to finance this deficit. Borrowing from domestic sources is normally of two types. Either they borrow from the public by issuing treasury bills or treasury notes and bonds, or what we call deficit financing from the central bank. Either way, there can be a problem. If government borrow excessively from the public, we have been complaining that the interest rates are high in Ghana. And then sometimes I hear people telling banks to reduce the interest rate. The high interest rate is not necessarily the fault of the financial institutions. When government borrow excessively from the public, what government is doing is that government is competing for the funds with the private sector. And so that can lead to interest rate going up. Until maybe 2022, what we used to teach our students is that the best person to lend to is the government. Because government will always pay back. Maybe after 2022, these days when we are teaching, we put a caveat. Because we saw that government can also default in payment. And so the high interest rates can be attributed to excessive borrowing by the government. What is even more important, or what is more harmful to the economy, is when the government borrow from the Bank of Ghana to finance a deficit. In fact, borrowing from the Bank of Ghana in simple terms, is printing of money. Printing of money. And we saw that in 2022, where the central bank financed a huge part of the deficit, resulting in that high inflation that we saw earlier on, 54% by December. Borrowing from external sources also come with its own problems. It can lead to increase in external debt. Again, we are still restructuring our external debts. And what is even worse is the fact that the cedi has traditionally or historically been depreciating against other major currencies like the dollar. And so when government borrow from external sources, government will have to repay these loans in dollars. And so when the cedi, whenever the cedi depreciates, the cedi equivalent of this component of the debt increases. The fiscal policy outlook, however, look promising. We have seen that by June, the deficit that we saw, which was 5.2%, declined to about 0.7% by June. The public debt also declined from about 61.8% in December to about 43.5% in June. And this positive outcome has been attributed to fiscal consolidation, enhanced revenue mobilization, and the appreciation of the cedi. Although we have seen that the cedi have started moving up a bit, we're hoping that these measures will be sustained to maintain the stability of the cedi. Then monetary policy development. The graph shows a year-on-year inflation rate, which is in the blue color, the BOG policy rate, which is in the orange color, the Ghana reference rate is in the ash color, and then the cedi dollar depreciation rate is in the yellow color. We have already seen how year-on-year inflation has trended over the period. We have seen the policy rate also trending upwards. until recently when they've started reducing the policy rate as a result of the performance that the first half performance. The Ghana reference rate came into being in 2018. And this rate is what the commercial banks use to compete their lending rates. Bank of Ghana realized that the base rates there was no standardized approach by the banks. So they introduced this, linking this with the policy rate so that they can achieve better transmission mechanism of monetary policy. The monetary policy outlook is also positive. We have seen that inflation rate has declined from about 23.8% in December to 13.7% in June. And the mid-year budget projected that inflation was going to end the year at 11.9%. But the August inflation already is lower than that. August inflation is already 11.5%. The 91-day TB rate has also come down significantly from 27 or 28% to about 14% by June, and it's currently even around 12%. The cedi appreciated by about 43% against the USD by the end of June. And this improvement is also anchored on effective fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy by the Bank of Ghana, and then the building of reserves by the Bank of Ghana. Now let's take a few minutes to look at opportunities for SMEs. There are a number of opportunities for SMEs. The number one is the demographic dividend and youth entrepreneurship. Ghana's population is generally a youthful population of about 57% are under the age of 25%, 20 years, as you see. And this provides both a challenge and an opportunity. Then the growth of the digital economy. Our father, Dr. Boateng, has already made or said a lot about how entrepreneurs are leveraging on technology to grow their businesses. Mobile technology, for instance, and internet connectivity have improved and is being used by businesses. Digital startups in fintech, agri-tech, edu-tech are emerging as a key drivers of innovation. Entrepreneurs are also utilizing social media platforms and e-commerce tools to access the international market. He gave an example of several examples on that already. I don't want to waste my time there. Then there are also opportunities in the agri and services sector. The presentation showed that the first half of the year, the information and communication sector alone grew by about 21%. This means there are a lot of opportunities in the services sector, particularly the information and communication sector. There are also modern agribusiness models such as contract farming and value-added processes. In fact, the main aim of the book is to highlight these opportunities. Notwithstanding these opportunities, there are some key challenges. Limited access is a key challenge to many SMEs. SMEs by their nature are riskier to lend to. I worked in the bank some years back, and you assess the risk of the company before you can grant a loan. Apart from that, bank loans require that you provide collateral. And most SMEs don't have this collateral to provide to back their borrowing. Some of them too don't even keep proper records, so and that makes them even riskier to lend to. Then there are still regulatory and institutional hurdles to clear. There has been an improvement over the period in terms of registration, business registration, and other regulatory measures, but there are still some cumbersome processes related to taxation, licensing, and compliance. Weak enforcement of contracts and property rights creates uncertainty. In fact, this is even one of the reasons why SMEs find it difficult to borrow from the banks, or the banks do not want to lend to SMEs. Then there are some infrastructural deficits in the form of infrastructure, including reliable or unreliable power supply. We saw what happened during the 2013-2014 when most SMEs closed down because of the inadequate supply of power. Then our road work is still very poor, and the limited internet bandwidth remains a critical constraint. Skills and managerial deficiencies is perhaps the most important challenge, because if you have the skills and managerial competencies, you may be able to navigate your way through these hurdles. However, lack of formal training for most SMEs and managers affect their decision making, financial planning, and strategic growth. There is also a mismatch between our formal education and practical entrepreneurial skills. And that is where we come in. That's why we emphasize on training. It's not enough to just go to school. You need to be trained on certain principles. And if it's not deliberately targeted, you may have degrees, you can even have a PhD without any knowledge in entrepreneurship. So what are the coping mechanisms for some of these SMEs? A number of studies have shown that some SMEs are forming cooperative savings groups, these days using mobile money, to mitigate their financial shocks. Some are also diversifying income sources through network of ethnic groups, and Provost just mentioned the importance of networking. Some studies have shown that currently what some of these SMEs are doing is that they rely on their ethnic networks to raise capital. Some also use digital tools to overcome the traditional barriers, as we've stated already. In conclusion, the presentation showed that the Ghanaian economy experience mixed performance over the 10-year period, and this resulted in large fiscal deficit and public debt overcome, which impacted on the macroeconomic environment negatively. The outlook, especially for the first half of the year, however, is good due to recent fiscal consolidation measures and effective monetary policy measures that have started yielding some positive outcomes. We have also seen that starting a business in Ghana presents a paradox of a promise and peril. Opportunities exist in the form of demographic trends, technological innovation, and supportive policies. However, persistent challenges continue to affect businesses, ranging from limited access to finance and infrastructure deficit, weak managerial abilities, and among others, that tend to affect the growth and scalability of new ventures. And so some of these ventures expire after a few years. There is therefore the need for a holistic and context-sensitive approach to entrepreneurship development. This brings my presentation to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, let's do it better. Thank you for that insightful, detailed, elaborative. It was educative as well. We got to learn some new things, that borrowing from Bank of Ghana means what? What? Printing new money. So this will put all of us on our toes. Anytime we hear that there is going to be new currency or new printing, we are curious to know what it is about and where we are. Thank you so much for that education and informative presentation. So lo and behold, we are gradually making progress. So far, what's your word? So far, so good. I can see some people are looking stressed and tired, but please, we are almost getting to the end. And if you should look on your program outline, I'm sure you are checking that it is time for a break. I'm sorry to disappoint you that I'm not giving you a break, so that we could just do the round table discussion and then we call it a day. Do we agree? Okay, thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going to the round table discussion, which is one of the most exciting and also the most important aspect of today's meeting or today's program. And so I switch from being an MC, I'm going to be a panel moderator to wear the next cap very soon. We will be discussing on the business of conviction, of course, how value-driven leaders are shaping Africa's economic future. And this is the place where I encourage you to go to the note-taking part of your program outline, the brochure that was given to you, so that all the questions that you've had so far boggling your mind, you can list them down, because we will give you the opportunity to ask them and engage the panelists that will be engaging. The first person that I would like to introduce, I have actually introduced him already, but for those that just came or joined us later in the day, I would like to just briefly speak about him so that you know why he has to be part of the panel. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, I would like you to appreciate, help me appreciate while he comes, our very first panelist, Mr. Douglas Boateng. Mr. Douglas Boateng. He is Thank you very much. He's a visionary entrepreneur and philanthropist, a Christian leader, and he's the group chairman for the Continental Christian Traders Limited, with businesses, operations across Ghana, Togo, the Gambia, Senegal, Mauritania, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia. Talk about it. He's right there. So please do have your seat. Yes. Thank you so much. And beyond business, he's a very deeply committed, he's a committed man who is committed to evangelism and philanthropy. If you were here when he spoke or gave his keynote address, you would understand that one focal point for him is faith and morality. And so supporting businesses, education, and community development. He is also the chancellor for Knatsford University and has held numerous leadership roles with the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, industry, PIAC, and the Church of Christ. So he embodied conviction-led leadership, blending faith, values, and enterprise to transform communities. Reason why he has to be there. So, moving on to our next panelist. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Samuel Kwejo Ejapon, a painting, an engineer by profession, a successful entrepreneur also. He is the co-founder of the Josam Group in 1996, with operations in Ghana and Gabon, with over 20 years of industry and business leadership experience. He has served as technical manager and general manager at IIL PLC and currently chairs the Ghana Alternative Exchange Committee of the Ghana Stock Exchange. And he's also the member of Stanford Seed Transformation Network and invests in Africa's Partnership Pool. He holds an MBA in Finance from the University of Leicester and Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering from KNUST. His leadership reflects a balance of technical expertise, governance, and value-driven growth. Last but not least, to join this team is, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's give it up for this an amazing, resourceful person, Mr. Nelson Aklamenu. A pharmacist by profession and the CEO of Palace Pharmacy, a business he has successfully led for over 27 years and counting. He is a member of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana and the Ghana Cooperative Pharmaceuticals, and where he has served also as the board chairman, and he has also contributed to faith-based leadership, serving as a deacon and a long-term member of the Nsawam Road Church of Christ. He has served on boards of National Bible Institute and the Heritage Christian College. His leadership journey reflects resilience, ethical practice, and commitment to both business excellence and community development. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it once more for them while I join them. Lastly, joining the panel is my able self, Christabel Odonko, your moderator. Can we kindly check our microphones if it's working? Yours is working. Okay. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to one of the most important aspects of today's conversation that we've had all over, And as you can see, these gallant men here, they are here to be part of a conversation that you and I need to hear, listen, learn. And this is the point where you take something home and you use for your businesses and guide your team. So to my panelists, I would like to say thank you so much, distinguished panelists, for making time to be here this afternoon and joining me. And to everyone, we will be exploring the theme, the business of conviction, how value-driven leaders are shaping Africa's economic future. So you may be wondering why this theme. So into this, just as most of the presentation that has gone on, you heard about the economy, you heard about what the future is holding for us, you heard businesses, you heard the word SMEs, entrepreneurship, and more so is the conviction aspect. You heard a story of CCT, Fisherman's Friend, and you are wondering, those authentic experiences, is it really true? How did he do it? And how can you learn? And what can you take from it? So in today's fast-changing business, success isn't just about profit. It is about values, integrity, and purpose, which you did mention. And businesses that are guided by conviction, trust, retain talent. That was something I got. And then they're able to navigate challenges as well and make lasting impact in our communities. Therefore, with this panel discussion, we are hoping to achieve the following aims, like let our audience get to learn about how to embed ethical practices in their everyday operations, and also how to stand out in a crowded marketplace through conviction and purpose, and also balancing profitability and social impact, which you mentioned, and then some lessons of resilience and transparency. And so without much ado, I would like you to speak from your personal experiences as well, and some nuggets so that we can all relate to. Without much ado, I'd like us to just delve into the first question, which I would open up for everyone to give me like a 2-minute idea. In today's Ghanaian and African business space, why? We've talked about it, but for those who just joined, why is conviction and integrity no longer an issue of optionality, but one needs to be intentional about it, and it puts you at an advantageous point as a business? I'll start with Dr. Boateng.
I believe if you know who you are and what is before you, and you are convinced about what you are doing, you will certainly get there. It is said, if you don't know who you are lost in the crowd. And business today, I believe so also it is. A business leader, like we've already mentioned, business is not just about making money. It is about purpose. It is about serving society. It is about making changes. You understand it? So, with your purpose, your values, all these must play in what you're doing to really get results. So there's the little I would say that your beliefs, your values must give you purpose for what you're doing. And really, if you know what you are and you're doing it well, you'll get there.
Okay, amazing. If you know what you are about, you will get there. And a certain, continuing from that point is where I come to you, Mr. Apientin. Like, what do you think about why it needs to be an issue of intentionality? We need to be very purposeful about it.
Well, thank you very much, and I apologize for not participating in the earlier sessions because it looks like I've missed a lot. I get that impression. A lot has been shared. But my name is Apentain.
Apentain,
Not
thank you.
I like it pronounced properly.
Okay.
Yeah, we know each other. We'll talk. All right, so look, my first comment is that evil shall bow to good. Throughout history, evil has never triumphed. Evil will always bow to good. So when you have ethics, you have convictions, when you have clarity in alignment with the laws of God, and God created this world actually to be governed by laws, natural laws, and godly laws. And so I am convinced that if you decide to deviate, you only make the journey long. If you obey the rules of engagement, you make the journey short. And so my simple answer is that, look, if you really want to make a certain impact as far as your business practices are concerned, always bear in mind that evil shall bow to good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Aklamenu, would you want to add? What is that addition you would like to add to why it is important?
Yeah, for me as a pharmacist, pharmacy is part of the health profession. So when you are going into business, that should be a key part of you are going to attend to the health of people. That's why we call them patients. You are patients, and you also have to be patient with them. For our profession, the pharmacy profession, our motto is in Latin, amicus humanis generis, which is friends of the human race. So when you are doing business, you should be friends to your customers or your clients. And if you are friends to them, then you will know how to handle them. At times, I see people who are sent to hospital in an emergency situation, especially the private hospitals. And some of them will tell you, put down some payment before they are handled. Is that how we want to do our business as especially Christians? Why don't you try revive that patient? After that, you demand payment. So from my angle as a health person, ours is to take charge of human beings. So in our practice, we look out for that. So I'll leave it here for now.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I like the diversity where it comes from. It tells us that even in business, it is not just about the monetary benefit. There is a health benefit, and there's a social capital benefit where you talk about the friends aspect. So this is very important. Now, this is where I zoom in into the more details of the conversation. I would like to pose this to you, Dr. Boateng. I mean, I've read your profile, impressive. And you have successfully led enterprises that span several African countries. And from your perspective, how can Ghanaian SMEs embed ethical practices consistently across different cultures and regulatory environments in terms of even looking for partnerships and all of that? Okay, so my question to you is based on your success in enterprises and your multinational experiences over the years across African countries. We would like to know, how can Ghanaian SMEs embed ethical practices consistently? The consistency is where the issue is, across different cultural and regulatory environments. Probably the person in Ghana. I saw how you kept things from Togo, Gambia, Ghana, and it reflected. Now there are people with SMEs are here. They would like to know, how can they embed that ethical attitude and be consistent about it?
Right. You move to any country and you need to first learn about the people, learn about the culture, you understand it, and learn about the society. You can only deal with other people if you know them better, to be able to give what you have to them. And so is in business. That is why in every business there is the need for survey, for feasibility studies, for understanding of the economy, the people's mindset, you understand, to be able to gradually change them or give them what you have. You understand it? So if you know who you are and what you have, you gradually, patiently learn of the people and see where you can agree with them or where you will try to gradually change them to agree with you in business. And I believe so it is in business. So it is in business. You can go a new place and you see you are completely new. They don't understand you. It is your responsibility to understand them and gradually change them to your taste, to know, to accept what you have.
Okay, so it means that it's a gradual process. Consistency is achieved by gradual process. It's not something that just happened overnight. So as young entrepreneurs out there, I mean, this is a great lesson for us to know that we cannot rush it if we want to. And that brings me, I would like to know from Mr. Sabon, coming from a place of finance and finance, you have worked at the intersection of engineering as well, and then finance and entrepreneurship. And so I would like you to add on to what Dr. Boateng said. How can SMEs use transparency, which is one of the key values, and accountability to strengthen credibility with investors and regulators in Ghana?
All right, so let's say that we first have to understand the word transparency. Above board, open. Anybody can look through and see. Nothing hidden. Credibility, accountability. That is transparency. And I've always said to people that when you go and see a doctor in a hospital, and you have a problem with some parts of your body you can't mention openly, and then you want to go and deceive the doctor, and you say, my head is aching, he will give you tablets that will take care of headache, but you walk back home with the same problem. So every time I've met with bankers, I tell them, you know what, I'm going to be very open to you so that you see my true situation and see whether you can help. You cannot be doing business and hiding things. You must be transparent at every level of your business so that even workers, staff, can appreciate the challenges you go through. But if you hide things, you are likely to face a problem. Now, over the years, I have found out that people are more impressed when you are open. Now, when you hide things and they discover. And so for me, if it is wanting to create credibility with stakeholders, then you must be as open and frank as possible. If it is not there, it is not there. If it is there, show it. The challenge we have in these days is that we like to impress. And so we try to create pictures that are not representative of the reality on the ground. And it doesn't take too long for you to be discovered. Because the people you try to impress, you will very soon find out that they will discover that you are not. Especially if you are meeting professionals. One day, I'll tell you a very short story, maybe to throw a bit more light. I used to live in Koforidua, where I was running our plant in Koforidua. And my old man would come and say, "Oh, now how's the weather?" I said, "Oh, it's been raining." His quick response was, "But the grass is yellow." If you say it's raining, the grass should look green. But the grass looks brownish, yellowish, and you say it's raining. I learned that lesson. I felt something just leave me quickly. That I had been very presumptuous in my answer. And he had discovered that you were not telling the truth. I just want to say that, look, when you are doing business, numbers don't lie. They will expose you. Especially when it is finance and accounting. You keep fiddling with the figures, eventually to crash somewhere. I'm not an accountant, but I've worked from 1985. So I have dealt with financials for all these years. That I've come to discover that even if you start manipulating stocks or inventory, eventually it will show. And the day it shows a huge gap and you are exposed. So please, if the question is that how would you leverage on transparency and accountability to enforce credibility, my answer is, look, be who you are. And it's also very important that if you are who you are and you have people helping you to look through the figures, it is the truth that gives you opportunity to learn to improve. But the more you deceive yourself, the more things get hidden and the help you need won't come. My final thing is that I have a friend, extremely rich guy. He just calls me and says, "I hear you have gotten a contract." I say, "Yeah." "All right, I have this for you." And it's not 100,000, millions. To support your execution of the contract. Wow. Initially he told me, say, "Oh, what they cracked abebana ya sign agreement." And I prepared it. When I got there, he says, "Throw away your papers. I know you. You won't do anything untoward. Take the check." Wow. That is what transparency and accountability gives you credibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So with your submission, I'm sure there is somebody also wondering, at what point do we even draw the line between transparency, which you talked about being open, and vulnerability? Because there are times some businesses or some individuals may feel that if they open up with their true selves, they will be at loss. So we need to make it look like it's real. There is a saying that says what? Fake it until you make it. And so quite a lot of individuals, in terms of personality wise and also in terms of businesses, you would see that on their websites or on their social media, which is also technology at play here, they have things, exposed, and it looks so nice, but then you engage the companies and realize that they cannot deliver. So at this point,
So the simple answer is that because you can't deliver, your adverts will actually put you in a more difficult situation, because people will say, oh, don't mind them. And that is enough. I am involved in drilling of boreholes in one of my companies. Okay? People go on my website and call me. I have drilled for people and sometimes we have failed. I have to explain to them that you spend so much, but we have failed. There's no water. Then I tell my staff that we have ethos, we have our mission statement to enhance the quality of lives by providing professional services to make available essential natural resources. If every Monday you repeat this, then please go and use all your professionalism to make the water available. So it may cost us today to go and do a second borehole for the person. But if we succeed in doing the second one, what will happen is that the person refers us to other people. So we get more referrals than going out there and making noise that we can give you water by all means. No. So I would say that when you say that I'm vulnerable, then you are looking at how to impress people by covering up. But when you cover a sore and spray perfume, the rate at which the microorganisms there are multiplying doesn't change. Eventually, you will remove the cover and then leave it to proper treatment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now, since for those that wouldn't want to cover their sore, they would want to learn the proper treatment of that sore. So then I come to you, Mr. Aklamenu. From your experience, your over 27 years experience in business, I would like us to help us here with some practical habits that can keep enterprises, especially what you did to keep your enterprise credible with customers and also with regulators.
How did I start? In actual fact, where I'm running now as my pharmacy, I started with a friend who virtually put in all the capital. I was in the background. He was running it. After some time, he came to me. The friend is not in Accra. He's in the village, also running a chemical shop. I can't run it again. Can you? I said yes. He invested into the company, so we took stock of what was there. He paid a rent advance. We took into consideration. He said, pay me all these and start running it by yourself. I'll pull out. He was a good friend, a friend to the family. He talked to my wife. So I think 2nd January 1998, we took stock of everything. Then I started running the place, virtually without any money. Unfortunately for me, he also didn't run the place well, so we take credit for running the place. Anywhere I go, your shop, you can't take credit because you haven't paid me. What do I have to do? I ran to friends, especially those who were in the business and were wholesalers. I picked up consignments on credit, paid them when time was due. And at the same time, I have to pay off my friend in good time. It is a matter of being honest. Honesty. I never took a bank loan like my brother said. One time I went to him in the house with my wife. He told me, my brother, if you need any help, come. I'll help you. I never went. He told me he would help me, but I never went. So we continued, and I took the place from January. By August, I finished paying off my friend. And God being so good, they were not running it well. They overpriced their products, so people were not walking in. So when I came in, I realized it. So I reduced all the prices of products in the shop. So people started, when they come, they find a difference, both the staff and what we do. So they started coming in, and sales started improving. So from there, I was even able to buy some of my products on cash and some on credit. And I make sure I pay the credit I took on time. So with time, the suppliers had confidence in me. At times when I go, they wanted to give me more, but I said, no, please, let me take what I can contain and pay you on time. I started running it, things started working well. Things worked well just for my honesty. I don't know whether you want me to continue.
I mean, with what you've shared so far, the focal point here that you kept emphasizing on is the key word honesty, and which we all know that a lot of SMEs and entrepreneurs, especially the upcoming ones, are struggling with. And so stressing on that, I think, is very key for us. But the conversation is getting more intense and intense.
Let me add a few more statements before you.
Definitely add the salt.
When I talk of honesty, yes. And for you to be able to pay on time, then you should not be extravagant. Keep within what you can do. Don't try to impress, just like my brother said it. When we started, I had nothing. So my children were going to school. We didn't go for schools where we cannot pay the fees. No. I send them to schools I can pay the fees. But eventually, when things turn around, I even send them outside to school because I was prudent, made savings for their future, and at that time I was able to pay school fees outside.
Amazing, people. I mean, that's a place to clap. It tells the long-term, benefits of choosing to stick to certain values as business owners or as entrepreneurs. It is not just for the short-term benefit. And I like the fact that you encourage the audience about, as business owners, when you start from the beginning, do not look at being extravagant with maybe your team, your office spaces even, or how to grow that idea, but start small. Work within your limits and then let it go. So as this is continuing, we are getting there, and I believe that the audience are catching the glimpse of the importance of conviction and value-driven leadership as SMEs. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Samuel. I prefer to use that. Now, we talked about markets being crowded. And with all the stories that have been shared, the honesty aspect from Mr. Klamenu, when people were overpricing their goods, he decided that he would be on the same level. And that even relates to the very price wars that are happening in Ghana right now, in Agbogloshi and Okainshi and all that, between Ghana and Nigeria, prices of goods, and leading to some of their shops being closed, even though some are not allowed to be business owners in terms of engaging in small-scale businesses. Now, from your experiences for the Ghanaians, how can conviction and purpose help Ghanaian businesses, entrepreneurs especially, differentiate themselves meaningfully so we don't have price tag wars like it is happening right now? Because we want to maintain that relationship, African business relationship, and benefit from it.
Yeah, this question is very difficult. It's difficult in the sense that there are ground rules in the business environment. And so I don't know whether my understanding of your question is how can you then influence it such that it doesn't go against you, or how do you survive in it? I will behave like those people who will set themselves their own questions and answer. Price war is one of those things that will continue and will never end, because monopolistic environments are broken. The global environment is what is operating. As a matter of fact, you can actually take your competitor's product and sell without him knowing. In this environment, there are ways of managing, because I've always used FedEx. I've used not even FedEx, Amazon and things like that. They don't have to manufacture anything, but they are known for products, and therefore they can take everybody's thing and sell and make margins and move on. So there's a way in which you survive. So now the question is, what do you do in an environment of price war? Is that the question?
Yes, by your experience, how so that Ghanaian SMEs can be meaningful in that regards.
The difficulty is that SMEs actually are a bit disadvantaged because they are actually small, medium enterprise. So they don't have the luxury of lowering their prices too much, because then it means that if your margins too are too small and you are under absorbing your cost, then you will be out of business very soon. So you don't have that luxury. But the catch is this: price is defined more by what you and I agree is satisfactory. Hello?
Hi.
So how do I make it satisfactory? I have a barber. I used to spend 1 hour in his shop. And he's so strict that oftentimes he doesn't discriminate between the elderly and the young. If you were late, you were late. You sit down and wait. A few times I will say, look, you know what, why don't I pay for these young men so that you can do mine, I go. And they say, oh, yes, uncle, you can pay. Then I pay for them. Then I get my hair cut and I go. Because when I calculate my time and what I want to go and do, there's no point in wasting 1 hour sitting down there. And when it is 20 cedis, 20 cedis, I pay 60. And then I pay 3 for 1. And then they also say, uncle, because they actually want to watch Man U. So for me, I'm driving at a certain point. I'll get there very soon. Price is what you and I agree is fair. I have asked him now that why don't you come to my office? And he says, when I go to office, I get 50. I said, I'll give you 60. So this evening, he'll be in my office. He will cut my hair. And it takes less than 15 minutes because there's not much there. He comes to shape it. For 60 cedis, I don't drive. He comes, he's satisfied, I'm satisfied. That is price. Hello? So for SMEs, if you really want to survive, add extra services that does not cost you too much, but create convenience to the consumer. That he takes it, you take it, and you still make a margin. And in fact, he tells me now that at 60, he's far better off. He doesn't have to pay for even his shop, rent, everything. So now, I told him, now compile the names of all the people who want your services, and then I can refer others in my area. So when you come here, you get more of the 60s. You will end up getting far more than being in a shop and everybody driving there. So when there's a price war, be innovative. Think outside the box, because price is only P when you and I are satisfied. That me too, I think I've gotten you, and you too, you think you have gotten me. We are satisfied. That is price. As long as it's above cost of production. I don't know whether I'm confusing you.
No.
So all I will say is that price war will never go away. But there must be innovative ways in which you can actually get even better value by offering other services others don't. And my approach is that suffocate the competition. And so instead of waiting for you to come, I come to you. And therefore you don't come to the market. So I come to you, and then there's nothing again. So by the time they realize, you are no more coming to them because I have gotten to you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think Dr. Boat would
just want to add just a little. People panic when they hear of competition. Where there is no examination, no one will learn. You understand it? But wherever there are challenging situations, that is where you mention of innovation. You will think ahead. We talk of technology. We talk of good customer care, serving people. We talk about staff care. You understand it? If you are people-centered, if the focus is to serve the people, right from your customers, your staff, and all these, people will go extra mile. In actual fact, there are times customers would even buy from you at a high price because of who you are and how you conduct your business. You understand it? That's where integrity and service. It is said that treat every person as your best customer. Treat your staff as your best customer. Staff, treat your bosses as your best customer. And by so doing, people want to go the extra mile. And they buy into you and into your service as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that our minds are...
I want to use my business as an example.
Sure.
About 3-4 years back, we started wholesaling. Then we were waiting for the customers to come to us. Then we noticed they weren't coming. So we went to them with our price list. What do you want? We'll deliver to you free, without a charge. Otherwise, they normally go to Kanshi, drive there, wait so much time for the same product at the same price. So we decided to go to them and do the deliveries to them at no cost. We saw that our customer base started increasing. Yes, we incurred some cost, but it's a cost we can absorb, especially when business grows. We can absorb that cost. So we decided to absorb that cost and increase our customer base, and it is working. So those are some of the innovations you do to promote your business.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So far, we're tackling of this prize war. I'm getting that we need, as businesses and as entrepreneurs, to be, first of all, we need to be people focused or people centered. That is where your customers or your target is involved. Because if we are not interested in them, we cannot even leave our offices to go and meet them. And if they travel to come and meet us in our offices, we are sharing spaces with other competitors. So then we need to be innovative with our approach and strategies by not waiting for them to come, but we go to them, and there will be no competition in their houses. And that's a super amazing one. Thank you so much. So I would like to ask Dr. Boateng, still on the issue of competitiveness. We have seen that the Ghanaian example that I want to use is Casapreco, Company of Ghana. They've gotten global success, and it was anchored on quality and also transparency, we believe. So I'm just wondering, for businesses that have head of that success, of head of this story, Kasepreko, over the years, and let me even use CCT, Fisherman's Friend. I'm trying to cast my mind back as at when I heard that. I'm sure I was just a little girl by then in the 90s. What lessons can SMEs or people take about value as a tool for competitiveness? Value as a tool for competitiveness.
I would say that whatever you are doing, do it well. Talking about products, do it well, get the right product. Talking about service, do it from the bottom of your heart. You understand it? And be friendly to the people, be friendly to the society, and focus on the important things. And when you do these things, the money will come. Like we've said earlier, making money mustn't be the ultimate, but it's important. But if you do the right thing with all your heart, with all your strength, the returns will come. It's God who blesses. As you do the right thing, he knows how to channel the resources to you.
Thank you so much. I'm still on you, and I like the aspect when you talked about we shouldn't just be, in terms of profits can be impacts and it can be monetary. And as businesses and individuals, we shouldn't just be financially focused. So then I come to the issue of social impacts and then resilience as profits. In the presentations, I kept asking myself, why is everybody using COVID-19? Because basically that was what I personally also tried to link. During the COVID-19, conviction-led is often linked to resilience, right? And during that crisis, quite a number of SMEs, businesses, entrepreneurs struggled. Some folded, some could not. And just like the last presenter said, government was singing that song for a very long time until the Russia-Ukraine war came in. I'm sure even with the Russia-Ukraine war, people are still also singing another song. So in that regard, your business was still in operation. In your view, what differentiated the businesses who endured and those who didn't?
I wouldn't limit it to my business alone.
Definitely.
But let's take education. Many institutions failed, but those who turn to technology, Zoom, whatever, Google Meet, they found means to do the same, to teach, isn't it? And so in situations, in whatever difficult situation, it set people thinking, what can we do better? What do we need to change to meet the demands of the situation or customers' expectation? So I think such situations call for deeper reflection and planning, and in this era of technology, assessing technology, using technology to achieve these purposes, to simplify things. That's a little I may want to.
Thank you so much for emphasizing on adaptation as a strategy for growing resilience in those times. In as much as I would like to ask Mr. Samuel his question, do you have something to add to growing that resilience in times of difficult times for those who survived and those who didn't? What happened to them? What do you think happened? Because as time goes on, businesses are still folding and some are leaving. We can talk about the ShopRites, the international businesses. So how much more the SMEs that are in the city? People are struggling and they are still, COVID is gone, but it's still with us. We are living in post-COVID. And the economy of Ghana is evolving. Today this, tomorrow this. Can we survive?
Well, I think that historically many businesses have survived and others have actually, more have folded. And I'm told that actually nearly 60-70% die before the first 5 years.
Wow.
I don't have the statistics right, but businesses, if they are just formed or founded to make money, it has no future. A business should survive based on strong values and purpose. There must be a raison d'etre, a reason for which the business must survive. And that's why I keep telling people that the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur is that an entrepreneur, it is like a passion in your heart. So in the very difficult circumstances, you are innovating and thinking, what do I do next to keep it going? But a manager says that our cash flow says this, they will pay us and we shall pay. They pay us, we shall pay. If that's all you live for, and I see sales and therefore I can buy, I see sales, your business has no future. So you will find that when it comes to even government businesses, they don't survive because the managers are just there as people managing it. But as an entrepreneur, you sleep, you think, you dream your business. I don't have anybody paying me salary. I have to pay myself. And so how I pay my workers first before I pay myself, it's between me and God. And so you are constantly under pressure, living for the purpose. So that's why, for me, my definition is that we want to enhance the quality of lives. And so I'm driven more by enhancement of quality of lives than the money I see. Even though that becomes part of the accident accompanying my vision. I hope you get it now. So now, if the question is ShopRite and Co., they started very well.
Yes, very well.
I'm not good at shopping because I don't know how to buy. I don't have patience in buying. I just go there and I say 1, 2, 3, I pay. But so I don't go to the shop with my wife. They will go through shelf 1 and go through shelf 2. I don't have that patience. I don't have that patience. So I don't shop. But a few times I went to ShopRite. The crowd, I said, this is the end. I'm not coming here again. Because I can't be in this long queue to go and pay for something as small as 200 cedis. Then you are in a queue for, oh no, it's too much. So they appear to be making a lot of money. It was a good money making machine. But the question for me is, what was the model? How was it thought of in terms of our norms and practices here?
Contest.
I live quite close to that place. And I think Professor Tulek also lives in that area. Many of the shops in there have closed. It appeared to be prestigious to be there. But soon reality caught up with them. That it can be nice to be looking good. But soon the cash flows won't support it. My first thinking was that ShopRite had too many foreign goods.
Okay.
And the lead time between production, shipment, and clearing and putting in there, you may not be able to maintain that cycle for too long. That's the first one. The second thinking is that Ghanaians very soon got bored with their chicken because it wasn't fresh and they were big sizes, but the Ghanaians like tastes.
Of course.
And so perhaps to get the taste, you've got to spice. And me, in my mind, when you put too many spices to try and give it taste, I know I'm not eating meat. I'm eating something which is material, and therefore I don't enjoy it. I'm a very funny person, actually. So I will say that there are so many sides to some of these models. And when you look at even some of the shoes and the shirts in the shops there, you will find that they are not the kind of colors we use in this environment. And And that is why for business, you must constantly be thinking about what are the needs of the people and not what I can give them. Because what you can give them may not be what they need. Okay? But it is what are their needs and how do I serve their needs. You may be able to influence, you want another one. So you need to be doing something that is always very attractive. Managing human beings is a very difficult thing. And Stanford University did a study and came up with a certain thing that actually they did a lot of mental studies on how people make decisions on buying. 70% is based on emotions.
That's true.
Only 30% is based on rational thinking. And therefore, when you don't understand the way the people think, and you don't find a way of doing it such that it becomes very, very attractive, very soon you will find that you think you are giving an offering. My last point is that, look, somebody was said to have, and I'm sure many of us have come across it. Somebody went to sell Coca-Cola in a certain country. And in that country, he sent a nice flyer. And the flyer was that somebody drank the Coca-Cola and he was so refreshed that he actually went to lie down in the sun and relaxing. So to him, it meant that Coca-Cola refreshes you and relaxes you. But he took it to an Arab country where they read from left to right. No, right to left. And the impression was that when you drink it, you die. So I think I've turned the story around. If you drink it, you die. It is from this side. And he reversed it. And he said, if you drink it, you'll be refreshed. But it meant opposite. All I'm trying to mention is that the local nuances, how we think, our psychology is very important. So you will find that somebody coming from Sudan with a lot of beads all over the neck. It's beauty in the environment, but here it looks horrible. So if you don't understand how the people think, and you bring some things thinking that I'm going to succeed, very soon you will find out that you've made a big mistake. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, yes, that's a very good place to clap, because that was, very informative for us to think as businesses. I'm sure people are checking their models that they are using for their businesses so far and asking. When the COVID came, there was a lot of shield and a lot of people, 10,000 pieces and all that. Until the whole thing, and a lot of people went in debt. So the fact that something is working for A does not necessarily mean that as an entrepreneur you should also go and start selling the same thing. And I love the emphasis on local context. Get to know the people, their perception about what you think is a problem that you are solving before you move in and say, I am an entrepreneur. And I love the fact that you bridge the gap between who an entrepreneur is and who a business person is. These are two different people. The one that does selling and buying and from hand to mouth is not an entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur goes a long way. Thank you so much for highlighting that. And that brings me to, you talked about talent and retainment, and talent, human capital, and all of that. Mr. Samuel, I want to ask you, employee loyalty and productivity, these are often tied to leadership issues. How can values-driven leadership inspire motivation and long-term commitment to teams? Mr. Aklamenu.
Can you go over it?
Okay, so I'm talking about the issue of team leadership and retaining of talents when we are working as business owners. And we are known that employee loyalty and productivity, these are tied to issues of leadership. So then how can value-driven leadership inspire motivation and then a long-term team commitment?
Yeah, as a manager, you should carry along your workers and form a team with them. It is not just by instructions. It is by examples as well. Handle them even as your children or your brothers and sisters. Implant the mission and vision of the company in them by educating them. Direct them, especially when they are fresh, what to do. You should also be seen doing the same things. You shouldn't direct them to do this and you are doing the opposite, going the opposite way. By that, you will tell them you are together in the business. That is what we have designed in Palace Pharmacy. We work with them as our brothers and sisters or as our children. And we go along and teach them what should be done. That our system is a bit professional. We don't just recruit anybody. We recruit those who are trained to some extent. Bring them in and polish them so that they can do a good job. And we train them on customer service as well. The customer is the backbone of every business. So you, the manager, how do you handle the customer? It should be practical for the workers to see this is how you deal with customers when they come. From there, they will toe your line. Some are deviant. Some are deviant. Whatever you do, you can't get the best out of them. Constantly also train them, send them to refresher courses so that they will come back and be better at their job, both professionally and customer service. So we, the managers, we train ourselves, and along the line, we train them on the job so that we can get the best out of them. Innovations. We innovate whatever will be good for the company. We call in specialists or consultants to come and do a thorough assessment of what we need to do to improve the business. When they come, they stay for a while, 1-2 days, see how things are going, and see how they will design the way forward for us to do better than what we are. So it's a matter of being every day, every time, training and demonstrating as a manager what you should go through and do, and for your staff to align with you for things to work out well for the company.
Thank you so much, Mr. Klameno. I like the way you illustrated team leadership to nurturing a child. And as the team members can just be like children, you need to have patience and all of that. Now, I would like to come to Dr. Boateng, still on this issue of team leadership. This is because this is one of the fundamentals of business growth that people are suffering with. A lot of leaders are not able to manage their team. Mr. Klameno has mentioned some vital areas that we can look at when it's about having long-term team, be with us for a very long time for the business to grow. I would like to ask the differences between a boss and a leader, and then this issue of empathy when it comes to leadership.
Yes. Nelson have just said it, but I think a leader must open his heart and embrace his people, empower them. You understand it? If people will buy into you before they buy into your vision. And when they see who you are, your heart for them, you think well about them. They can see their future in you, and whatever you are doing in business, they'll pour their heart to you. Yes. So empathy is aligning your thoughts with theirs. What is right for me is also right. What is good for me is also good for my people. So as you move along with them, build them up, show concern, show love, let them know that they can trust you and trust their future in you. Like I mentioned before, in my business, at a point in time, people worked with me, and there was a trend that for this guy, if you work with him well, within 12 years, it's going to set you up. And really, certain key people were set up. You understand it? You do the business, and I see your commitment. We give you every encouragement. And at a point in time, when you've been mentored, we see how to also, you understand it. So I think a heart for the people. Yes, it's not easy dealing with people. There will be times of mistakes. You understand it. But let's be more tolerant. Let's be more tolerant. Embrace them, encourage them, and I believe they will be with us and would want to help us build their own future through the joint corporation.
Thank you so much. Let's be more tolerant as leaders, and that's what makes the difference between a leader or a manager to a boss. So as we don't yearn to be bosses, we should be people-centered, as you rightfully said. Before I give the opportunity for the audience, I believe I have some burning questions, some few questions to ask, so that I don't do the talking alone on your behalf. I would like to ask this series of questions, but differently to each one of you. So, to Dr. Boateng, what does the future of African business look like if conviction and responsibility become the norm rather than the exception?
Africa is going to be great. In actual fact, Africa is designed to be the next center or hub of business. You understand it? All eyes are on Africa. And what are we doing as Africans? We have the after-continental free trade. How are we prepared, and how are we working to take advantage of it? You understand it? So I think, yes, we have all the resources. We have the human capacity or human resources. We have the, how do we call, material resources. We have everything. It takes boldness. It takes change of mindset. It takes understanding of what we want to achieve, and that commitment, like we've already mentioned through these: conviction, innovation, and responsible practices. I think we shall be there. Otherwise, the Chinese will take control of Africa.
Thank you very much. I know that I said that was your last question, but I cannot live without asking you this before you put your microphone down. I realize you embed faith in everything that you do. I think this is one of the struggles that as businesses, and even personally, I mean, even with initiatives that we do, as Christians, we are always asking, and that is one of the important values as Christians. Do we necessarily have to embed faith in businesses and in everything that we do? Because it gets to a point where you are dealing with people whose faith do not align with you, and you are basically chasing for a grant or a loan. In that space or in that chance, what do we do? Being a person of faith who has embedded faith in all these years, what advice can you share with us?
Yes. Really, if you align your purposes with that of God, certainly God will bless you. Seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. In business, the righteousness talks about what? Integrity, morals, and all these things. The righteousness talks about loving people, treating people well. The righteousness talks about caring for the environment. You understand it? So it's important. Faith, really, if we really understand faith, it seems Prof mentioned that we are created in the image of God to take control of everything. Unfortunately, I've seen that many people, when they are in tight corner, when they are not employed, when they don't have anything to do, yeah, they go to church, they want to, yes, we are Christians, we serve God. But when things start going well, employed, got things to do, you see their thinking change. You understand? Yeah. And as people of faith, we must constantly remind ourselves. As ACT, we start with prayers, we close with prayers, and we still want to encourage people. You understand it? Surprisingly, in my business, we are a Christian company, continental Christian, but in Senegal and the other places, we have Muslims also in our company, right? But there are times the Muslims put some of us to shame. You understand it? Because some Christians will do things that some of the Muslims may not do. You understand it? And if we really understand who we are and the presence of God in our lives, in whatever we are doing, let's do things right at the right time, and God will bless us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So lastly to Mr. Aklamenu, if you could leave this audience with one conviction that should guide how we build Ghanaian and African businesses for the future, what would that be among many others?
What I would say is be positive minded. If you want to start anything, any business, don't be pessimistic. Especially if you are a Christian, go to God. Put it in the hands of the Almighty God. Pray about it. Let Him give you guidance. Get guidance from those who are already in such businesses. Let them direct you. Do what is right, integrity. And I believe if you do all these things, God will certainly bless you. More so, don't cheat your employees. Don't cheat your customers. Yes, people even cheat their customers. It will not be well with you. Yes. When people know you are cheating them, the news spread better than a good news. So be honest, do your business with integrity, and lead your team in the Christian way, just like my senior brother has said. And I believe the Almighty God would help us, and Africa will build to the next level.
Thank you so much. Don't cheat your customers. Those who are weighing, don't put something under the olonka. If it is one, it is one. Thank you so much. Lastly, for Mr. Samuel, many young entrepreneurs here in Ghana and even in this room are passionate. They are very passionate about this conviction, responsible practices. They are passionate, but they are struggling with integrity versus survival. It is actually the truth. What advice would you give them about staying value-driven?
About staying
value-driven, in as much as it's pushing you.
Thank you very much. I just remembered the story, so let me clarify. The story is that the person who went to do the business in the Arab country, he sent a flyer which had somebody who had collapsed, drank Coca-Cola, and got revived. So if you drink Coca-Cola, you'll be revived. But they read from the right to the left. And so the person was standing there. When he drank it, he collapsed. And so in their minds, Coca-Cola is not good. Is that right? Okay, so that is. Now, how do you practice integrity, strong value in a very difficult environment?
Yes, they want to, but they are struggling. Survival versus, being value-driven.
The first message is that if you cheat today, you will pay for it dearly. So, yes, if you cheat, it's a short-term relief, but get ready for a bigger price. That it's a fundamental principle. I think our Christian values must be so richly embedded that when you want to break it, you suddenly feel something has left you. That is the extent to which we must ingrain our Christian values. My brother was talking about the fact that some people are very, very serious when they don't have. As soon as they get, they are no more serious with God. It means your values were not basically strongly embedded in Christianity. It was materialism. I have come to the conclusion that actually money is not as important as you think it is. Really, I have come to that conclusion. It's only useful as a means of exchange. When I say it, people say, my friend, you don't understand. I say, I understand. I have seen money. I've seen wealth. I was blessed to have a father who had 12 companies. We had a house in England and everywhere. So I have seen money. I've traveled a lot. But I have come to the conclusion that money does not answer all things in life. So when you make money the basis for your Christianity, then you will not stand. Very soon you'll be embarrassed because you will find that God will grant you the money and then you will start compromising on your values. But the one thing I can tell you is that yes, money answereth all things, physical, but not spiritual. You don't want to get to the point where you are compromising because to you, if you don't do it now, is a disaster. Let me leave you one thing. Failure is never fatal. Actually, failure is part of the chemistry for success. So if you are afraid of failure and therefore you must lie, you must cheat, you must do something, you are actually postponing your own success. Because your failures should drive you to the point where you will learn some lessons that will bring you closer to your success. And so failure has never been fatal. If you think that way, then you will be driven to make the slightest cheat move so that you will survive. But you are going to fail anyway if you are compromising all the time. So the question now is, under the current circumstances, look, there are some good people out there who will hear your thing and say, you know what, we don't normally do these things, but because you've been very clear and very transparent, we'll give you a second chance. It happens many times. But if you are afraid and you think this is my last chance, without this I'm finished, then you have limited God. God, and somebody made a statement recently and I thought I have imbibed it immediately. He says nothing happens to us, everything happens for us. I thought it was a beautiful statement. So my brothers and my sisters, we all go through challenges where we know that sometimes you say this one, everything depends on this one. But we have compromised in the past. Yes, it's not as if we are angels and saints. But we have also learned over the last 40 years or so that actually all the points where we compromise, we actually did not gain. Because what we thought we had temporarily gained, we lost. But what you actually stayed true to by faith ended up actually promoting you. It may have just eluded you. I have many examples of people who were giving me some things that if I had accepted, I would have made some millions instantly. And I refused. And then later on, there were investigations that I would have been embarrassed, that all these years of Christianity would have been disgraced. So please, stay true, because it's very rewarding. And failure is never fatal. Thank you.
Thank you. My goodness, what an insightful conversations and ideas that have been shared. Before we come to the end of this session, I believe that people have burning questions. So I have someone supporting me, or do I have to come down there? Okay, someone will support me. So please, if you have a question, your hand up. Okay, there is someone behind. Please, let's keep our questions very brief. Very, very brief and clear. One question each. By 3:30, we should be out of here. Please go on. If you want someone in particular to address your question, you can please let us know. But if you want anyone, that is also fine.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My questions go straight to Dr. Douglas Boateng.
Okay.
During his presentation, he did emphasize 4 components, which is conviction, innovation, responsibilities, and practice. If a business leader asks for a piece of an advice about conviction, innovation, responsibilities, and practice, how would it be? Thank you.
Thank you. So he's asking that if a business leader should ask you about conviction and innovation and then practice, right? That's responsible practice. How would it be? I think you might have missed your key presentation. Yes.
All right. Yes, it seems you weren't here. We mentioned of conviction as being purposeful and also doing things ethically, morally, in the right way. We also mentioned also of innovation, doing things to meet the changing trends of this our present times. We talked of technology and improvement, whatever you are doing. We also talked about responsible practices, doing the right thing, paying your taxes, and meeting your obligations, caring for the society, and also good environmental practices. So together we mentioned that if we shall work, go by our faith in everything we are doing, and also have forward thinking, and also be concerned about our environment, and do things right, it boosts our businesses, and this is the sort of business leader our present generation is expecting. So in brief, this is just something short for you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Boateng. Do we have another question? Please pass on the microphone.
About transparency, like be open, be transparent to the media. Is it necessary? Like about the wound you talk about that, if you have a wound and you did show it to, like you have a wound and you cover it. For instance, someone wants to attack you and the person knows that you have a wound over there. He will attack you by getting you injured. You see, but about the transparency, is it necessary to open what you are doing, the business, like the way you are getting your money, and telling people how you are doing it? Because at the end of the day, you'll be competing with your imitations by through your transparency.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I think his question here to what I asked about vulnerability. So he's saying that should it be necessary for you to be that transparent with your business approaches and with your team and everything that has to do with that?
I think we have actually misunderstood the word transparency. Transparency doesn't mean that go and tell everybody that I have a worker who is sick. We have been buying things from here and we sell it there and we clear. No, that's not transparency. You are talking about your business strategy. You are not supposed to be disclosing your business strategy to anybody. You are not under any obligation. When we talk about transparency, record keeping, the things that you must not ignore when it comes to accountability to those who are either your board members or your advisors. Don't hide anything from them. That's what we mean when we're talking about transparency. GRA, SNIT, statutory bodies, registrar of companies. You cannot be hiding things from them when they ask for certain things that you must produce. Don't fiddle with figures and hide, because it will catch up with you. That's what we mean by transparency. But if you guys, Coca-Cola has never disclosed their formula ever since it was formed, because that is their secret that allows them. Otherwise, everybody can go and buy sugar, burn it into caramel, and produce Coca-Cola. But they have found a way of keeping it and locking it under a trademark, and therefore nobody knows it, and that keeps them in business. So when you talk about transparency, you misunderstand it to mean that everything about how you conduct your business ethically must be disclosed to everybody out there. No. It is the requirements for reporting that you must not hide, and don't sugarcoat things. Are we clear?
Thank you very much. Do we have another question? Okay.
For the education, I've really learned a lot. There's a term in the business says that a customer is always right. If I have a customer and that client is always complaining, worrying me about my products, is that client doing the right thing? Should I say the customer is always right, so I should keep quiet and not say anything? Thank you very much.
Yes, I think the customer is always right. He or she is right because he or she brings you your money. Without him, you will not make it. Maybe it is an adage which it is not totally correct, but if you do accordingly, it will help your business. What is the customer complaining about? What is he harassing you? Can't you sit the customer down and sort it out with him or her? I think there's always instances where you get difficult customers. But I tell you, if you sit the customer down and dialogue with the customer, what do you need? What fault do you find with us? We will correct it. Even if you don't correct it, the customer, you think you have done it. So the customer wants to hear you out. So if you have a difficult customer, sit with the customer. You will never lose him. So you just take it that the customer is always correct. Sit with the customer, do what is right, and you will still maintain that customer.
Let me just add. There's something we call customer satisfaction survey. It's a must. You must conduct it every year. If not half yearly, yearly. Your most complaining customer is your best customer. Because the person is seeing some things that everybody has taken for granted. And is bringing something to your attention. As a matter of fact, it is said that the most foolish idea sometimes becomes the best idea in design thinking. So please, when a customer is always complaining, sit the customer down and talk to the customer. Find out what they are looking for that others are not asking for. For all you know, they are directing you into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe we are done with the questions.
Everything that I should do, but still complaining. What should I do?
I would answer that for you. Please go back to use the customer satisfaction survey so the customer can take time and really point out what they need, so you know their need points for you to be able to satisfy them how they want it. And like he said, sit the customer down. You can have a conversation, a dialogue. But if you are not interested in that customer, you can politely let them know that you are unable to satisfy them or meet their needs politely. Thank you. So my time is up. Unless you don't want us to leave here, your lunch is also waiting.
Last one, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank you for this major and very impressive platform. First of its kind, seeing great leaders who has given it all. But I see the leaders sitting there, they are not taking anything back, they are giving it all.
Yeah.
It's like they are giving their secret out. I want to appreciate them, because there's no way I'm going to meet these great men. The platform is indeed very great and should be encouraged. Thank you very much. My question is with dignity and has to do with virtue. With respect to the Dr. Boateng, Professor Boateng. You see, there was a story, I'll tell you a little story. There was a man who became I
hope the story is brief.
Very brief. He was a Pentecost elder. But before, he had a girlfriend. And when he got to know Christ, he stopped because of the Pentecost church. So finally, they bought a car, and his wife was going to town and was coming. Why didn't he have transport? So when he got to the husband's car, he told the driver he's going to sit in the car free. Meanwhile, the former girlfriend of the elder was in the car. She was paying anyway. But the owner of the car's wife, the elder's wife, didn't have money. So the driver called the husband that, oh, you didn't this car, and he told the wife that, the wife said she didn't have money. So the driver left. Due to that, the woman asked for divorce. Did you think that the man took the right decision by asking the wife to pay and come to the house and pay later? And the wife also said, you allowed your girlfriend to be in the car. And he said, no, I didn't pay for her. He said, no, she was in the car. Whether you paid for her, she was in the car. This led to divorce. How would Professor Boateng have handled this issue? Wisdom. Thank you, sir.
So your question was centered on integrity, is that it? And he used a scenario of a married man and his a Pentecost man, to be precise, and his girlfriend. Who does the car belongs to? So the Pentecost elder, who is the married man, the car belongs to him. Both his girlfriend and wife, his former girlfriend and wife boarded the vehicle. And the girl said that the former girlfriend said he knew the man. So for that reason, the man said, it's fine, you pay later. And then
shopping, and the man was finished.
The former girlfriend was not paying.
She was paying.
She was paying.
But that didn't mean anything to the woman. Anyway, she didn't have money. Her money has finished. She gone shopping. So she saw her husband's car and demanded to sit for free. Called the husband, and the other one said, "Tuya, udu fia, but the amount." And the husband said, the driver also refused allow him, because when he comes, he has to account.
So basically, it's about family interferences in business. You see,
what he's trying to say is that a certain man bought a taxi, and then he put the taxi to work. The person's former girlfriend joined the taxi and paid. The person's wife also came to the taxi and didn't have money. They called the man. He told the wife, please pay. It is business. When you come home, I'll give you money. The wife didn't have money to pay and therefore didn't join the taxi and got angry and proceeded for divorce. How would you have handled this matter?
The wife got angry.
Because the husband insisted that we're doing business and so you must pay. And she didn't have money. And so when she walked home, she said, Awareno, Yajai.
And what? Why should the man or the elder force the wife to pay if the taxi belongs to him? Couldn't he have talked with the driver